Hello, this is George Hayes, and welcome to Introduction to C tutorial number 13. And we're going to be covering passing values to functions, alright, and the proper way of doing so. And there's two primary ways you can pass a value to a function. One in which you're passing just a value, and the other in which you pass a pointer to that value. And it's important as far as to note the differences in what can happen as far as when you pass it the right way and the wrong way. Alright, so if you want to affect the value outside the function, you need to pass a pointer to that function, because otherwise it can't actually affect the external value that was passed to it. It makes a copy of it and then sits there and does the changes inside the function, but then when it goes back to the calling function, it doesn't actually change what was passed to it. And here we'll take a look. Alright, we've created some values in this tutorial, a, b, c, d, and 0, and we're going to call first the function 1, which passes a pointer reference or pointer to function a, or sorry, to variable a to it, and then it's going to get returned value b. Now, if we go down and look at function 1 here, you see it's receiving the pointer to an integer x, and then it puts the value 10 inside the area pointed to by x, and then it returns 5. Alright, so b ends up being 5, and a is going to end up being 10. And we can see this if we go and run it. But now we're going to look at function 2 before we do this. We're going to pass c as far as just the variable itself into the function, alright, which is actually going to end up as just a copy of c, and d is going to get the return value, and that's in function 2. As we put the same 10 into the x here, just in the function 2, and return 5. And when we run this, you'll see the results in an entirely different form. So go ahead and build it. And if we look up here at function 1 and 2, you have in the first function, for function 1, a becomes 10, b equals 5. Alright, but c does not get the 10 in it as it would have from function 2. And we go back on that and look. And you can see this is a printout here as far as on what those did. So calling the functions did it as I said, sorry. Okay, now another good use for looking at this is if you create a swap function, you want to swap the values of two letters, like two variables such as the integers up above, a and c, which where you got 10 back in here, and then we got 0 back here. So if we run this function, which looks like this, it actually passes the pointers to the function, then takes the variable that's inside pointer a and passes it to c, which is created here, then takes the pointer of b, the variable inside pointer b, and passes it to the variable location inside pointer a. And then it takes the variable that's inside C and passes it back over to the pointer function location variable B. Alright, and when we run that, again, we can see it actually swaps them out. So it's now the reverse of what's above. Alright, so 0 becomes that, and here, so A is now 0 and C is 10. Sorry. Need to get my coffee. Alright, what won't work for something like that is this won't swap. It's very similar looking to the swap. Alright, and the printfs and all like that are identical, just printing it out. But as you can see, we passed a variable in which it just makes a copy of, so it's not actually making any changes to the memory location that's of these variables up here. These are actually separate and different from these up here, even if they are named the same, or in this case they're different, but so you can name them the same and it still wouldn't do you any good. Alright, so it goes through and just passes the variable changes and all like that to it, then returns. But because these aren't actually changing the memory, what's in the memory location for these variables, it makes no difference. And when we run it, you'll see it stayed the same as here. So this is the same as this, which means that the locate it hasn't changed, and therefore that's how it is. So if you want to sit there and look at the copy of the project, you can find it on GRH Media and go back and follow this along if you want. It's the differences between passing a variable and passing, an actual pointer to the variable, so that you can actually make changes outside the function. If you just need to sit there and make a calculation based upon two variables, you don't need to pass the pointer to it. If you need to actually get a return result that sits there and makes an actual change, like the swap function, then you need to pass the pointers to it. And thank you very much for watching. I hope you like it. Like and follow the channel, please, and have a great day.